Our first game is Swardeston against Wimbledon. It is just a great day out, isn't it? But they will want to do well on telly.
They will. I think when it comes to it, you know, you want to play your best, you want to win a final, and if it's on the TV with all your friends and family looking, then it's even more important.
Right, let's quickly tell you about the toss for this first game. As I say, it's Wimbledon against Swardeston. The toss has been won by Swardeston, and they're going to bat first. And here come the two teams. Now, rather than go through all of these names and tell you who does what, just going to pick out three names per side. Swardeston start with Jaden Hatwell. He's a Kiwi who's played 3 first-class games for Northern District. Got 870 league runs this summer and 30 wickets. Richard Sims, off-break bowler. He's a Zimbabwean. He played 3 one-days for Zimbabwe, including one on this ground here at the Rose Bowl back in '03 against South Africa when England had one of those triangular tournaments. And George Walker, slow left armour in the middle order there. He was on the Leicestershire books from 2002 to 2009, played 7 first-class games. As for Wimbledon, and Paul, I think we all should straight away say this is your old club here, so you've got to be strictly non-biased as you watch this. They've got 3 players to just look out for. Sean Davis, another Zimbabwean, 4 one-days in the '96 World Cup. Neil Turk, who's their captain, played a bit of first-class cricket for Sussex, and also 3 one-days for them as well. And the most interesting story, right down there at the bottom, Richard Banham, 35 league wickets, 14 20-20 wickets this season. He's a Swardeston old boy, and this is his last game for Wimbledon because he's emigrating to Australia after today. So he wants to go out, if he possibly can, on a high and turn over his old side as well. Just to quickly tell you who's on duty here as far as commentators are concerned throughout the day. Bob Willis, Nick Knight, Robert Croft and Rob Key. And let's start off by joining Robert Croft and Bob Willis.
Thanks, Charles. Well, it's not West Ham United against Aston Villa, but it might be various combinations of claret and blue out there. But the aforementioned Richard Banham's going to open the bowling from the pavilion end. He's had a great league season for Wimbledon. And don't forget, today we're using the pink ball. Bit of bounce straight away. There's some in-swing from Banham. The Swardeston captain, Mark Thomas, opening the batting with Will Wrist, was hoping that this pitch would turn. There was signs of turn yesterday in the final one-day international between England and Pakistan. Bouncy run up from Banham. First run.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff.
Attempted direct hit. Great encouragement from the rest of the batting side. Plenty of family and friends watching. Haven't quite got the 13,500 we had in yesterday. We may swell up to 1,300 if we're lucky. Wicketkeeper Tom Morris standing back at the moment. Sean Davis is at slip. A bit of fresh air there, but Swardeston clearly showing their early intent. Runs on the board is Mark Thomas's hope, and then defend using a lot of spin. Talking of spin, here's Robert Croft.
Good morning, Bob. Yes, expect to see some spin. Pink ball. Who'd have ever thought we'd play cricket with pink balls?
Well, the season started with pink balls in Abu Dhabi. Durham against MCC. Under lights there. Got a good thumbs up from most of the players. And the experiment continues here in the Cockspur Cup 2020 semi-finals and final.
Expect to see some movement. Brand new ball, of course. See him pretty proud. Looking to try and get some movement out of this used pitch.
Flashed away behind point and away for the first boundary of the day. Nothing that Franco Mateka could do down at third man.
Well, not a bad delivery, really. fraction of width, maybe. Decent length, but it's 2020 cricket. Mark Thomas throws his arms at it. Sort of a second there where he thought he was going in the air, but it's 4 runs.
They encourage the bowler just to change his line a bit, try and bowl a little bit straighter. That's better. Straight into the covers. Maramba at the extra cover position. 5 from the first over. I think Wimbledon will be happier than the batting side with that return.
Sure, if he can keep that economy rate through his 4 overs, he'll be very happy with his performance today. Let's just talk about how players at finals day handle pressure, even at the professional level. So you can imagine how these do it. I mean, they're keeping it pretty relaxed. It looks like somebody's son sitting along there trying to help ease the nerves. I suppose keeping it as normal as possible as they would have on a Saturday afternoon, with somebody hitting a tennis ball in amongst them, diving out of the way. So it is how they will try and keep the nerves down and deal with the pressure.
Neil Turk is Wimbledon's captain. He's opening the bowling from the northern end of this new international ground at the Rose Bowl. Wide of off stump, but umpire Ben Debenham letting the bowler get away with that.
It's early indications for the approach that Swardeston are going to be using today. They've bowling with some width.
Misfield at point, allowing them to get back for 2. It's 2 runs that Swardeston shouldn't have had. Steve Trenchard, the unlucky culprit.
Takes one in the ribs there, goes through. Just hear from one of our advisors and the players, he's our best fielder.
Good delivery. That's the line and length early on.
Still not so sure, Bob, with the approach that Wimbledon are using here with the bowling. They're bowling very wide of off stump. And at a certain stage, if the batsman does get his eye in.
Smashed away through straight mid-wicket. And that's going to beat the fielder as well.
Well, they've only got 3 fielders on the leg side. Very strong offside field. And Will Wrist takes advantage of it on this occasion. Heaves it over onto the leg side. Picks the gap on around off stump. Only 3 fielders on that leg side. Huge gap at this ground here down at the Rose Bowl. Big angles to try and cover.
Straight to mid-on, shouldn't be a run. Seb Frankie Mateka at mid-on. Wimbledon play in the Surrey Championship Premier Division. Runners-up to Reigate Priory this season. Very, very competitive league, that. Straight away, umpire Debenham says not out. He's the younger of the 2 officials, 43 years of age. He's from Chelmsford, umpires in the Essex Premier League. 11 for no wicket after 2 overs. Phil Matton is the elder statesman of our umpires. He lives in Crediton, umpires in the Devon Premier League, and has stood in second 11 home games for Somerset.
Bit of jag there, Bob. Nipper backer, as they call it.
Do you have any experience of this pink ball at all? Bit of a back breaker, isn't it?
It is, yes. Luckily, you still get given the bats here through the season, so I'm okay. But watch this ball just jag back. Does a lot. Good area to be bowling in 2020 cricket, in and around the thigh area. Bit of bounce, aggressive length.
Banham bowls from quite wide of the crease. Just be a single up to mid-on.
Good mate. Good sign. That's it for us. That's that leg now.
That's what it's all about. Maybe a cricketer of the future there. Who knows?
Well, more seam movement into the batsman. Keeper did well, didn't take it all together cleanly, but Morris had to move several yards to his left there.
Well, the way this jags back says to me there's still some life in this surface. It's had a lot of wear and tear, yes, but the new ball, the pink ball, seems to be jagging about. Almost a similar sort of approach to bowling as Mackay and Teeny, Bob. Just that wide of the crease, angling back at you.
Good stop in the covers. Maramba. Hiran Maramba. In that important cover position. More movement again.
Now, you'd imagine now in sort of the professional game, the batsman would be trying to get across to the off stump and just work the ball on to the leg side. But I suppose the batsman is thinking at this stage he's still trying to eye up, hit into the covers, which is a high-risk policy. But Richard Banham's ball, a good over. He'll want to finish very strongly. Only gone for one so far this over. Another man comes into the leg side.
No run again, just a single off the over. 12 for no wicket. Swardeston have reached just 12 from 3 overs. Wrist on 7 and Thomas on 5. Wrist has had most of the strike, twice as many deliveries faced by him.
See some change to the field now. Slip coming out. Another man into the leg side. Obviously doing away with the style of hanging the ball outside off stump.
Fantastic. No doubt about that dismissal. And Swardeston in a bit of trouble here. They can't get the ball away. Just that single boundary so far. And they're now 12 for 1. And Mark Thomas is on his way back.
Well, smart bowling here. First over, hanging it outside off stump. Now, change of plan. We'll bowl straight. We will bowl at the stumps. We'll change our field. And Swardeston lose their first batsman. Mark Thomas goes for 5. And they're now 12 for 1.
Neil Turk's already played some cricket at the Rose Bowl this summer, representing Essex Sector 11, but it was over on the nursery ground. 100 not out, so he's a fair all-round cricketer, this man. New batsman is Jaden Hatwell, who's played cricket to a very high standard in New Zealand. Plays for Northern Districts in New Zealand. Home ground at Hamilton, where England, of course, have played Test match cricket. Oh, dismissals don't get more comprehensive than this, I don't think. Mark Thomas bowled neck and crop.
Well, very, very smart bowling, very straight. Do like the change of plan. Just goes to show that how professional club cricket is getting now. Change of plan bowls a lot straighter. The first over, they were bowling a foot outside off stump. This time, they're bowling straighter. Smart cricket indeed.
Keeper Morris up to the stumps now.
Well done, well done.
Trenchard again at that important position behind point.
Oh, somebody had a late night or an early morning. Really big surface to play on here. Certainly, probably the biggest field that these guys will have played on before. Angles are very difficult to judge. Normally when you play on club grounds, they're half the size of this field.
Finds the gap this time, even though the outfield was soaked this morning. That's a runaway easily to the boundary. Much needed 4 runs for Swardeston.
Terrific timing here from Jaden Hatwell. Good high left arm, left elbow. Gets it past probably a ball they should have stopped. Got a hand on. However, gets Hatwell off to the start that he would have liked. Looks a very correct type of player, not the sort of player you'd expect to see swinging the bat.
Oh, well bowled, well bowled.
Wimbledon's home ground is in Church Road, opposite the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in SW19. Make a fortune every June and July, parking cars on their ground.
Down, down.
Comfortable single down to Frankie Mataka at the mid-on. That's the end of the 4th over, and they can't get this run rate up very high. 4 1/4 runs and over. 17 for 1. Wrist on 7. Hatwell on 5. It's a Swardeston line-up today. Ground staff here have done a remarkable job to get us underway on time here at 12:35. Absolutely threw it down this morning. But the blotters did their job well, and the central wicket area was well covered. Now here's a talented young cricketer. He's only 17 years of age. Will Leith into the attack early. It's a slow left armer.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he gets some spin out of this wicket. Graham Swan certainly did last night. Prodigious turn. Ringing the changes, Wimbledon. Taking the pace off the ball.
Hatwell eyeing up the mid-wicket area. Oh, allows himself the luxury of a leave. You don't see many leaves in 2020 cricket. Well, there's the spin everyone was expecting. We saw it yesterday in the One Day International, and that's brought a little smile to Will Leith's lips.
It's a beauty and bounce. That is a classic left armer's delivery. Look to follow it up now.
Come on, down.
Well, there's good signs for sides with spinners in this pitch here today. Taking pace off the ball. We know how successful taking pace off the ball has been in 2020 cricket. Certainly the Swardeston batsmen are going to have their work cut out to try and rotate the strike against this type of bowling.
Down.
It'll be interesting as well, Bob, to see how these type of players cope with the spinning ball, using their feet. Will they use their feet? Do they sweep? Or are they just quite content to try and push the ball?
Catch.
Goes to the big shot, it's up in the air, should be taken, and indeed it is. Second wicket goes down. Hiran Maramba takes the catch comfortably, and an excellent start for Will Leith. And the East Anglian side are in all kinds of trouble now. They're 18 for 2 at the end of the fifth over.
Well, what a start for Will Leith. He's got some spin, and the batsman was not prepared to work the ball around. Took the slog option pretty much, and he's paid the price. Will Leith gets his first wicket.
Well, wrist was caught by Hiran Maramba.
Swardeston have lost their second wicket. Will Wrist goes back for 7, and Swardeston are 18 for 2.
Both openers back in the pavilion, Will Wrist and Mark Thomas. Richard Sims striding out to join Jaden Hatwell. Some glum faces in the Swardeston dugout. Richard Sims has played 3 one-day internationals for Zimbabwe.
Go on, lethal pup. Come on, mate.
This time it is a wide.